Good day, good morning, happy Friday. I'm glad to see you all back. Let me know how you're feeling in the Q&A there. It's amazing, the research, according to research, Friday is the day where people feel the happiest. And it's not Saturday and it's not Sunday, but it's Friday. And Sunday evening is where we take a really big dip, and it's really that time, obviously, when we start to worry and think about work and the week ahead. So I'm hoping that you're all feeling okay and you're feeling good. And yeah, I've been obviously still struggling with what's happening in the third wave in our world. And I'm just going to light this candle right now. And there we go. This is for you. This is for all of you that are online. This is for the ones that are sick, your family members, your friends, the ones that you've lost. Lighting a candle of hope, of light in a dark space, because we will get through this time and we will eventually be able to look into the sun and smile and feel the light once again. I'm just going to put it over here. Yeah, so lighting a candle today for all those that are suffering or who have suffered. Let's take a moment to breathe, settling our minds, settling our bodies, joining me in a beautiful breath, breathing in through your nose and slowly exhaling out the nose with control. That's great. Doing it again, breathing in and then releasing with control. And last deep breath, breathing in through the nose. Then opening your mouth and slowly exhaling it out with control. Just release what doesn't serve you today, whatever worries or stresses are going on, let it go. Breathing normally, checking in with yourself. How am I feeling today? How am I doing today? Gently blinking the eyes open. And I'm going to ask a very simple question to you today. How are you? I'm checking in. I'm checking in. Are we able to check in? Are we able to share how we are without feeling strange, embarrassed, or vulnerable? How are you today? 1 out of 10. Can you find a number? 1 out of 10. How are you? If it wasn't for all this bad news of the third wave, I would definitely be about a 9. But today I'm about a 6. This weekend we've got an online funeral, and yeah, I'm feeling sad about that. Where are you today? 1 out of 10. Can you find that number? Are you able to find it? And I'm asking because I want to start a chain reaction through Namibia, through the world, of everybody just saying, instead of how are you, and then we say I'm fine, I'm asking how are you? If you could give me a number and you can just let me know, I'd love to hear from you. Wendy's a 7, and there's a 4 out of 10 coming through. 4 out of 10. Thank you. Thank you for taking the moment to acknowledge where you're at. Having a duvet day. I'm at a number 6. Okay, there you go. I'm glad you're having a duvet day. Today I'm a 4. I respect that. I honor that. Thank you for your vulnerability in sharing. Thank you for acknowledging where you are. It's really important. And Do other people know that you're a 4, or is it just me? Do other people know you're having a duvet day, or is it just me? Are you okay with saying that you're a 4 to somebody else? Are you okay to do that? I think the question for me today is, do you think that a simple conversation can change a person's life? And I can tell you that my work before lockdown, I was, I'm just looking at a few of the other comments coming through. 4 with thunder showers, 5 out of 10, 6. Yeah, okay, so the numbers are not very high here. Someone's a 10. Wow, you must be going on holiday tomorrow. Bernadette is a 6 and Ethel's an 8. Not bad. I feel like a 7. I feel okay, says Susan. Well done. Well done. Thanks for checking in. There's still a few more. Elsie says stand at 5 out of 10. Thank you. 6, mentally still strong, but also slightly numb. Thank you for that. And I wanted to say a special shout out today for Ilana Khiev for being a champion, for promoting this work, for being so engaged and involved. And I know she has her own story, and I hope one day she will share. And just a big shout out to Ilana. We hear you, we appreciate you, and thank you for everything that you've done, Ilana from MedScheme, and thank you. Dafa is a 6. Thank you for that. Really great to hear from all of you. So thank you. A special thank you to Ilana today for all your kind efforts, for all the work that you do for everyone else. Selfless, a selfless person. Just to say that my work before lockdown, I was leading programs in emotional intelligence and resilience and helping people bring their A game in understanding mindfulness, in understanding neuroscience, how their brain works, to maximize their day, to have the leading edge against their competition. But now with the pandemic, a new sensitivity has arose, and it wasn't that we're at home working. It's now we're at home working during a crisis. See the difference there? Big difference. And there's a lot of people that don't have a voice, and our work went online, and I wanted to reach out, and I want to look into your eyes. I want to see your beautiful face, and I want to smile at you, and I can't. It's just not possible. I'm talking to myself, but I know you're there, and I feel like I'm speaking into a black hole, and in a way, a bit disconnected. A recent study found that 40% of people report feeling physically and emotionally isolated by working from home. And people want connection. They want to be heard. And that's why I'm asking you how you feel. What's your number? If I can just know a little bit about you, that helps me. That helps you. And 39% of people, they say they feel a greater sense of belonging when their colleagues reach out to them personally and professionally and acknowledging them on a personal level, and as leaders to be authentic and to be emotionally intelligent. Now is the time more than any other time. And a lot of leaders, I heard yesterday, I was on a call with 350 people in a bank, and they were saying now's the time to be human. And let's drop a lot of what the corporate label looks like and just be more human. But it's got to start with us, and we have to be the change we want to see in the world. And now is the time to do it. Right now is the time to change what normal looks like. I recall we're still stuck in a very old way of thinking, and we're coming out of that, thank goodness. But my father, when he was a businessman, and he was national sales and marketing director for General Electric when they were in South Africa. They pulled out, and he went through terrible burnout and terrible stress. And I would say, Dad, are you okay? And he would just say, I'm fine, boy, I'm fine. But he wasn't fine. He was suffering with burnout. He was suffering from anxiety, panic, fear, what we're all going through now. But he didn't manage it well. He didn't attend the You're Not Alone platforms. He didn't reach out. He didn't check in. And he sunk into a very dark depression to a point where he died from suicide when I was 21 years old. And I thought to myself recently, if we had a culture of checking in as a family, we might have saved his life. We might have got him the help that he needed in the time where we could have helped him. But all you get is, I'm fine. Let's not settle for I'm fine. Let's start the revolution. Let's not settle for I'm fine. Can we do that? And I know sometimes it's difficult for us to do it because we're not fine. But you know how you start the revolution? You start it by saying, actually, I'm not fine. And that's some vulnerability and honesty right there. Because by you saying that, it opens up somebody else to say, oh, wow, I'm not fine either. And it's amazing in work. I was listening to something by Simon Sinek last night. Amazing, amazing guy. And he said, it's amazing in the workplace when you're vulnerable and you say, I don't know if I understand what I'm doing, or I don't know if I'm good enough to complete this assignment. And you let your guard down, or you say, I just don't know. Then your friend or your colleague might also say, you're right, I also don't know. And in not knowing, we don't need to hide our mistakes. Then our productivity and the success of the organization we work for increases just by saying, I don't know. Then we can collaborate and communicate. But rather we hide our not knowing. And we don't want anyone to see that we are not perfect. So we create a problem for ourselves and the organization. I used to hide my anxiety from my advertising job. I was an advertising executive for the largest retail outlets, Pick and Pay, as a young man, but I had severe panic attacks. I would have 10, 15 panic attacks a day, and I would vomit, I would purge. Sometimes while I was driving, sometimes in a meeting. As I woke up in the morning, the first thing that I would do is throw up, because the whole day would hit me in the face. This is what's going on. And I remember having a big presentation to do. The room was full of really big people, big managers, bosses, big hypermarkets, marketing managers, directors of Pick and Pay. And I looked at them and I said, I'm feeling nervous. And please forgive me, but I do feel some panic arising. And I was vulnerable. And everybody looked at each other and they looked at me and they said, it's okay, we're on your side. So I did my presentation, but by being honest, all of a sudden my panics dropped down. Because I was thinking, well, I told them if I have a panic attack, now I've got nothing to hide. And it worked in my favor, because I finished my presentation, I got a standing ovation, and we signed the deal. And I think it's because people recognized my humanness and my vulnerability. And in that way, I won them over. And it was a strength. It was a strength. It was a strength. So how are you on a scale of 1 to 10? How are you? Ilana's saying, thanks so much. We've got so much going on. I just realized, again, today, earthly things have no value. People have value. Absolutely, Ilana. We need to stand together. I will share my stories. I just love these sessions. I'm so excited to be here every day. This helps me get through the day. Wow, beautiful, beautiful friends. And if you got anything you'd like to add to what Ilana said, please feel free to. That is just so stunning and so amazing. And we love you, Ilana. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to encourage, here's a couple of examples of how you can check in. And I'm talking about your family, your children. Let's find out how they really are without just saying, good morning, how are you? Yes, I'm fine. Yes, and you, I'm fine, because we don't know. Look at this beautiful thing. How are you today? There's a green heart, there's a blue heart, there's a yellow heart, there's a purple heart, there's a orange heart, I'm struggling. There's a red heart, I'm having a hard time. I wouldn't mind if someone reached out to me. A black heart, I'm in a bad place right now. Can you imagine if your child could just connect with one of those hearts, or your wife or your husband or your mom or your dad or your family or your colleagues? Can you imagine before you have a meeting, say, listen, I just want to put the slide up. Can we check in? And then if you know someone's a black heart or a red heart, that's the person you need to have a virtual coffee with. That's the person that is crying out for help, that never had the opportunity to be heard. You're creating a platform for them to be heard. The weather is also a good one. I had a friend, Charles Mahema, I'd ask him, how is the weather? And he would say, yeah, today I'm feeling partly cloudy with scattered thunder showers. And I'd always laugh, it was funny. But actually I realized that Charles was just not really that okay. And there was a sensitivity to him. So it was humorous. How's the weather? You know, instead of saying, how are you? How's your weather today? Stormy? Rainy? Tornado? Someone said to me this morning, snowstorm. Snowstorm. I mean, in Africa, you know, there's a snowstorm. So maybe you're just partly cloudy. Maybe you're sunny. I love that. There are apps as well, like Calm and Insight Timer. When you go onto the app, it says, good evening, how are you feeling? And then you can check in with emojis. I know on Teams you can do this. Little GIFs, little emojis, people can check in. Then there's an awareness, especially if you're the kind of person that is able to hold space for somebody else and bring some awareness. My feelings chart, maybe this is good for the kids. I know there's a lot of families that are listening to and watching these recordings. You could put this in front of your child and say, choose a face. What face do you look like today? Or what words do you resonate with? The feelings chart. There's an emotions wheel, which is also very popular in identifying exactly which word or which emotion that you feel. And really, this one is hilarious. How are you doing today in dog scale? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at these faces. But look at 8. Poor dogs be crying. Look at 9. I mean, ecstatic, blissful. Cat scale. So you're either a cat or you're a dog person. I'm a cat person. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I love it. Look at 5. Look at the cat. That's 5. 6. I think that was me earlier. I was exhausted. You know, a great way to check in and keeping it light, but at least there's some awareness. There's some awareness, and yeah. So yeah, these are all wonderful tools that can really help us. I'm just going to stop sharing those beautiful slides just so that you've got some awareness. Anonymous is saying, C.S. Lewis says, it's the moment friendships are born, when someone realizes, what, you two? Yeah, exactly. You're not alone. And that's the name of this campaign. You're not alone. I recall in a meeting, a very amazing team in a financial institution. There was one boss, and we did this exercise where we had a jar and we were doing a burnout test. And I said to people, where are you on the burnout scale? Are you optimal? Are you lame? Are you inactive? Are you bored? Are you feeling just like super productive? Are you burning out? Are you exhausted? Are you fatigued? Are you panicked? Are you anxious? People they didn't put their names because they were too nervous to say where they were because the boss is in the room. And we went around, they put little bits of paper into the jar. We opened up the jar. I read them all out. I didn't know who was who. You know that 85% of the people in that room, out of 25 people, were burnt out, were exhausted. And this was before the pandemic. It was about 6 months before the pandemic. And the team leader looked at this and said, wow, I had no idea. And she's a nice lady. She's an approachable lady. You would think that her team would tell her, but there's a stigma. I'm going to keep this to myself. I'm going to be with this alone. So let's not be alone. Let's not be alone. Let's break the stigma and say, I'm not okay. And it's okay to be not okay, especially now. She gave that team the rest of the day off. And she said, tomorrow, we're going to have a meeting about this. How can we fix this? And then some healing and people's lives and people's jobs can get better. Because leadership can get involved and help us. But why should we sit with it alone? Because everybody else is too. So what can we do? Ask. If there's someone that is quiet and they haven't been themselves lately, just ask them, what's been happening? How can we check in? 1 out of 10, the weather, dog scale, whatever. How can we check in with you? What's going on? Ask them. Then listen. Listen, be open-hearted, non-judgmental, non-reactive. Maybe what they say is going to irritate you, but keep it, listen carefully. And hold space for that person, and then encourage some sort of action. Well, maybe we should see a therapist. Maybe we should do some mindfulness practices. What can we do? What can we do to help each other? And then keep checking in. The last one, keep checking in. Keep checking in on them. I've got a friend that's doing this for me at the moment, and I'll tell you, it's so valuable to me. She keeps checking in with me, and it's invaluable. It's priceless. To have friends like that is priceless. Be that friend for somebody else. It's beautiful. So, yeah, just remember, it's difficult. People are not used to doing this. People would rather talk about their sore knee or their sore back or their runny nose than how anxious they are, how worried they are, how down they are, how burnt out they are. Let's start the conversation. Let's start the conversation. Are you okay? Okay. Let's move into a practice. This is my favorite topic in the whole world because I believe it saves lives. And it not only saves lives, but it saves minds and brings happy and brings togetherness and love. We can change the world, friends, one check-in at a time. Let's switch off for a moment, taking a comfortable seat, back reasonably straight against the backrest. Let's breathe in through the nose, breathing in. And then exhaling it out slowly. Taking a moment to just check in with yourself again. How are you feeling now? It might be different to how you were feeling when you logged on. And maybe there's a feeling where you're not perfect, you're not 10 out of 10. There's still something bugging you, there's something wrong, there's some anxiety, there's some grief, there's some sadness, depression. And we can perhaps personify these emotions and say to them, hello, my little friend, how are you today? Hello, my little sadness. Hello, my anxiety. Hello, my little fear. I'm not going to hide you. I'm not going to push you away. I'm going to let you sit with me. I'm okay to talk about you as well, that you are here. But by acknowledging you, I see you're not that big and you're not that scary. You're like a little child. How are you, my friend? You don't need to feel better now, but we can just acknowledge these emotions and feelings. Maybe you're feeling high and happy. That's okay. All these feelings are like clouds in the sky as well. They come and go. There's always the sun of our awareness shining in the blue sky. And we breathe. Let us breathe through these emotions. Let us breathe through these little orphans, acknowledging them, opening them up, and realizing that it's okay to identify them. It's okay to talk about them. It's okay for them to be heard. And it's part of being human. Breathe through them. Breathing in some hope. And some clarity. Good. Let's take one more deep breath, breathing in through the nose and out the mouth. Good. Can you imagine doing a little exercise like this for a friend? You don't know what to say to them. You don't have the words for them, but you say, can we just breathe together? Can we be quiet together? Can we acknowledge our feelings and our emotions together? It's a revolution. Can you be the change you'd like to see? So try and be the one today who checks in. Maybe it's a WhatsApp, maybe it's a message to a colleague, to a family member. Say, how you doing, man? 1 out of 10, I haven't heard from you. Maybe call them, give them the space to check in, ask, listen, encourage action, and then keep checking in with them. Recognize those little emotions and orphans. Maybe today go outside, sit in the sun, connect with the sky, connect with the sun, connect with the clouds. Realize that emotions are temporary and they don't last forever. They come and go, and we can acknowledge that. Do you think that a simple conversation can change a person's life? A simple conversation can. And if you're journaling, we can write down our emotions and how we're feeling, shining the light on our internal landscape, and maybe suggesting a way that we can nurture these emotions, that we can feed these emotions, that these emotions can be recognized, seen, and heard. So, all good. There we go. Time is just up. Thank you for having me on this platform. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this message with you. Thank you for, I'm just looking, Susan says things have changed so much. We're all dealing with our own different emotions. And even as a leader, one would forget to check up on others. As leaders, we also have the need to be checked up on, but that does not happen in most cases. Exactly, and that's why it's so hard. That's why you have to check up on yourself. Thank you. Best program I've been on. That's so cool. Lovely session. Thank you. Thank you, Leanne. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you, friends. Time to go. Remember, all these sessions are recorded. You can find them. And we'll be back on Monday with Hermine again. Hermine Lago. She's dynamite. You don't want to miss out on that. She is a powerhouse. We're so excited to have her back on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Wishing you happiness. Wishing you health. Please be safe and practice peace. Practice peace. Peace. Good. Take care. Goodbye.